Welcome everybody to RPG Limit Break. It is now time for the second half of our semi-final doubleheader in the 2023 Dragon Warrior Randomizer Summer Tournament. Game 1 of Nest Cardinality and DK9146 found earlier tonight on this very channel, and now Game 1 in the best of 3 featuring Big Slemu and MetalDreamx. Our tracker tonight is the wielder of the 8-span spear himself, Destiny of a Dragon Warrior. Our restreamer is the Director General Kamion Renakai. I'm the modern-day Yun Shu, Archfield Monk, and my co-commentator is the man about whom the maxim was written. Among horses, Mr. Ed. Among men, it's Secret Agent Mand.
I'm not entirely sure that's complimentary, but we'll go with it.
Well, you both talk, so it's valid.
Oh, true. Yeah, that is a defining feature of both of us, I think.
Yeah. This is a great matchup we have here tonight in this other semifinal. MetalDream versus Big Slemu. We'll kind of get into their records a little bit. I think the race will be starting momentarily, but I want to talk a little bit first about MetalDream. He, as you see there on screen, was the 9th seed in the qualifiers coming into this one, and has been absolutely on fire. He's 15-2 over his last 17 races, and that stretches all the way back before the tournament. He is 11-1 in the tournament so far. His only loss was in Game 2 to Tristal in the round of 16. He's also picked up the overall victory in the training tournament that we had in the spring. He's got a recent win in a co-op live race, and then a couple of those wins that I was talking about, 2 huge live casual races. One of them was an 18-player race, the other a 15-player race. If you haven't heard of MetalDream before, that's probably valid. This is his first kind of major event in the Dragon Warrior Randomizer community, as it were. But he is an exceptional player, very deserving of his place here in the semifinal. And on the other side, we also have an extremely accomplished racer of not just this randomizer, but many others, Big Slemu.
Yeah, Slemu got here with a 9-2 record. One of those losses was in the group stage, but he managed to pull through and win the group anyway. The second loss was actually in the previous round against Ziggy, but he managed to take that series, obviously, and he also got through Bob Pineapple 2-0. So he's only gotten 2 losses so far in this tournament, and of course, last year, he managed to get all the way to the semifinals, lost in the semifinals, but then took the bronze medal match, as it were, to take 3rd place in the summer tournament. He has 27 wins in this tournament in the last 3 years combined, which I think, according to Statman Archfield, is tied with Angel for the record of non-forfeit races. So, well, non-dropout races, I should say.
Yeah, I did a quick check before we started here. So over the course of the last 3 years, Slemu has 27 wins. Angel technically has 28, but one of those was to one of the members of his group in last year's tournament dropping out. So strictly speaking, they both have 27 race wins. So Slemu, extremely accomplished, as I said, and this should be a great series. Really looking forward to it, as we have a quest item in the throne room along with some gold.
And honestly, there's not really, with 24 AP already, there's not much you really want to bother trying to spend money on right yet. Hand axe would be nice, of course, but I mean, you're rocking 24, you might as well just go out there and kill stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's no pressing need to get this gold anywhere. If you happen across a town, that's great. As it turns out, we've actually come across 2 caves, one of which appears to be Swamp South on Slemu's side. Ooh. And for MetalDream, finds a Magidrakey with a Hurtmore.
Well, that will slow things down a bit, potentially, although, honestly, you still feel pretty good about that, as long as you don't get back attacked, as MetalDream did there, and really at 21 agility, you shouldn't get back attacked either.
Yes, you really shouldn't, but here we are. 24 attack power. Both of these racers can fight most of the stuff they might even come across. Even this Drakima on level 1, Slemu stands a pretty decent chance to win this race against the Drakima.
Not with those rolls so far, but obviously they don't have to pick up much.
Yeah.
But they aren't picking up so far. There's a 5, there we go.
He did get him, so Slemu's going to jump straight to level 3.
Yeah, the levels will certainly be coming fast and often, especially now they have sleep. Oh my goodness.
3, 10, 8, 11 among those two levels for Slimu as well as sleep, but that turns out this must be a diagonal zone because Slimu was actually headed back toward the east there and picked up a knight, which is not a starting zone enemy.
Yeah, that was in line with the freebie cave, I believe. So that must just be a couple tiles south of Tanagel.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. So a little bit of help in terms of resources there, not much strength between levels 2 and 3, but Slamu's going to take out this Scorpion and we'll get our first look at level 4.
Yeah, with sleep now, pretty much anything in the opening zones is unlocked, because even what you couldn't beat before, you can now with that sleep spell. Just take a wolf to sleep, take a metal scorpion to sleep, get hurt more by the Magidrakey.
That's a thing that can happen too.
Yeah.
MetalDream now on level 3, the strength again only picks up by a couple of points there. Got some magic points in the Spell of Outside on level 4, but that's obviously not very meaningful right now, although it would allow either of our racers to zip straight through Swamp Cave, should they so choose.
Yeah, it could be Garenham on the other side, or just any town, so Slamu might be trying that right now.
Yeah, he's going to give it a shot. Who knows, maybe he ends up in the back of Tanagel, but no. It's out here amongst some swamp, and is looking to get sent back on purpose. Goes ahead and takes the pot shot at the Axe Knight there. That's a clear indication that he's just like, nope, I don't like the looks of the second continent. I'm going to go back to start.
I don't know, maybe the Assault the Strength was that high already. Certainly seemed like it for a moment there.
Probably not. Not quite in that neighborhood. But we do see we have our first town spotted on MetalDream's side here. Town just to the northeast. And he's going to get a Scorpion too, which is actually a nice bonus. This should be level 4 for MetalDream. And
yeah, sadly, they've both pretty much lost all of the money they started with, so could now afford a copper sword, but aside from that, you're really just hoping for Rim, because a copper sword won't really move things too much at this AP already.
Yeah, and really just trying to find some way to spend this money before it all goes to waste. Slamu is now grinding there north of Tanagel. Looks like some more advanced equipment in that top Cantlin shop. MetalDream's going to hold on to it, probably in search of that copper sword.
Yeah, also some cheap armor, but honestly, meh.
Club, hand axe, so he's going to spring for the club here and then also pick up a pair of clothes, so that's 4 attack power, 2 defense respectively.
Yeah, resetting for the hand axe would be tempting, but at the same time, I don't know that you really need it to beat anything, especially now that you got sleep. And the money should come pretty quick and easy now, with that little bit of extra strength, as long as the skeleton stays asleep.
Level 5 incoming here for Slamu. 4 power, 0 speed, 7 hit points, 2 magic points.
The bumps are coming a lot slower now, but I mean, 33 strength at 5 minutes in and level 5 isn't bad at all.
Yeah, it kind of depends. We started with some really good strength, of course, but it has kind of stalled out since then.
Ooh,
so this is necessary. But there is a town on Slamu's screen.
Also, a bit of bad news, these skeletons have heal, which is gonna make them honestly kind of annoying to fight.
I do not think we have any experience points charts this race, but right now they would be intersecting, 95 for both. Slamu's got a town here to his north, and he's been trying to chip this skeleton and avoid the heal for a bit now, but this fight has taken some time, but he knew he was close there, decided to go ahead and swing, gets the 25 experience points, and we'll see what town this is. This is Breckenary.
Oh, Breckenary.
Looked like I only got a brief glimpse at the Breckenary shop there, but I think that was There didn't seem to be much that Slimu could purchase at the moment, anyway.
Oh, thank goodness, I thought it was me.
No,
Trying not to say anything just in case I was going to digitize there.
Not quite at the moment, anyway.
Looks like Malchior did see a copper sword in Breckenary, so that's absolutely what you want to see right now.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you're looking for. You're hopefully going to be able to build up enough money to do that. The enemies that are around, we've got this Hurt Warlock on MetalDream's side. They're worth quite a bit of gold. You only need to kill about 3 Warlocks from his current point to get that, but does have the heal spell as well, so another heal enemy, a little bit suboptimal.
We've also seen Stop Spell on Drolls, so it's a shame they don't have Stop Spell themselves.
So interestingly enough, 2 towns close to start here. MetalDream has seen Cantlin, Slimu has seen Breckenary. Level 6 incoming for Slimu. Maybe this will offer some help. 7, 2, 4, 1, and Hurt.
Hurt not really impactful at this AP, but another 7 strength is putting them into pretty good territory now, especially once he manages to get his hands on that copper sword.
Yeah, Hurt's still outpacing some of the things just narrowly, like skeletons and warlocks. You can do a little bit more damage with that on 40 attack power. Of course, if either runner were able to grab a weapon better than a club, then that would change. But the only use of Hurt in this situation that would be hugely advantageous would be against Metal Scorpions and Wolves, and we have yet to see either of those yet.
Slimu now has enough money for the copper sword, but he apparently has decided to not bother with it right now. Slimu just deciding to swing through the heel.
Yeah, I think this probably starts to make sense at this point. It should be 2 swings most of the time against those skeletons. So and the nice thing about it is the first swing often will not put it into heal range, and the second swing very frequently will take it out. So it's kind of in that sweet spot right now. But skeletons, of course, are a little bit more dodgy than some enemies. And catches a dodge there and then gets sent home.
Yeah, if there was a copper in Breckenary's shop, he has now lost the ability to buy it. Not a huge difference, but every little bit helps.
Yeah, interestingly enough, Slimu headed off to the west now. He has not really gotten a look at the east-west zone yet. These zones seem very similar, although the east-west zone has those warlocks and the scorpions as well. So it's possible that overall this is just a better setup in the east-west here, where MetalDream is right now.
Yeah, it's tough to say. Especially when you hero walk for this long on desert. Ooh.
It's true. You hate to see that happen.
I am curious if MetalDream will try saving up enough money to get to that hand axe you saw in Cantlin. Not obviously easy when you don't have any healing.
Yeah, that's part of the problem. That Cantlin Inn is 100 gold pieces, so without knowledge of Breckenary, which would be a very cheap heal stop, he does not really have that advantage, so he's going to have to try to get there, if that's his choice, without it. But at this point, he really just might be grinding for experience and not be worried about the gold so much.
Oh no, I think he is worrying about the gold. He tried to sleep that warlock, and then he ran away when it failed.
Alright, so he has at least one purchase in mind. Right now he's got over 300 gold, so potentially thinking about a chainmail if he's seen that.
Exactly right. Probably was really holding out hope for that hand axe, but, you know, sometimes you can't really do anything about it. Your only other option would have been to buy herbs in the Cantlin Inn, and that would have been disgusting.
Yeah. Slimu there with level 7, 2, 3, 3, 1, so the level again, a little bit of a bust. They started out with some great stats, high attack power for a start at 24, but it's kind of slowed down since then. The strength is in a decent spot, but, you know, they're still kind of constrained to these starting zones. Although I will say MetalDream now with that chainmail is actually breaking a lot of the enemies he had been fighting, the warlock and the skeleton most notably. So he can think about maybe just swinging away here. Looks like he's going to stick with a sleep against the skeleton for the time being, though.
Yeah, probably because of that heal.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Slamu, without the chainmail, now that he has repel, could technically repel grind, but honestly, I don't know that we've seen a zone good enough for that.
Yeah, it's kind of two sides of that coin, right? Like, if you have repel, sometimes that will enable a repel grind if you have a little bit less defense. So he's in that spot where if he wanted to get rid of the ghosts and I think Drakeys that he'd seen in the north zone, he could do that. But it's a little bit tricky otherwise, and he now has 300 gold built up, but is going to try to take this skeleton out in one sleep. Has built up about 70 or so experience point advantage, a little bit more than that right now, actually. And he is going to go to the repel to get rid of those Drakeys. Whereas, like you said, MetalDream can't do that right now. He is getting some subpar enemies in the zone. The Drakey is hanging around, but I think the east-west zone only has that Drakey in it, which is the real kind of low monster on the depth chart there. So less of a big deal for him. But Slamu's still extending this one hit point grind, or at least he was.
Oh, I will note a bit of an explanation that we were wondering earlier. While the stream was down, apparently Slamu did in fact have enough money to already buy the copper sword, so that's actually why he was just ignoring it when he built up money the second time.
I see. Okay, well, there we go then. So that does make a difference. He's got that 52 attack power, and doesn't probably feel like he has anything else he needs to worry about purchasing. So he's going to throw a look at this. Yet another town that's within about a screen of start, but this is through that southwest diagonal. And MetalDream is going to get stopped by a rogue scorpion. Very difficult enemy to run away from. They have high agility, and only on 39 you would not necessarily expect to get away there.
And sleep is potentially good, but that's actually the break-even point where basically same difference.
Right. Yeah, about same difference on that. So you're roughly as likely to run as you are to put that rogue scorpion to sleep. So there's not really an advantage one way or the other.
Slamu, meanwhile, finds Cantlin now, so he has that information. He took about 3 steps towards the shop and then went, I don't have any money to buy anything I want anyway, and just walked right back out.
Yeah, which makes sense. I mean, he's got 300 now. He could go look for a chainmail if he wanted, but honestly, the grind is going well enough that just going around and shopping is time-consuming in and of itself, and sometimes you're not going to get that time back just by buying some equipment, so... Yeah. Probably a reasonable decision on his part there. As we see, MetalDream is 1 tile away from this new town. And there's actually another town off-screen to the southwest of here. This is Hawksness.
Oh!
And our 4th town of the seed already here, less than 15 minutes in. It is Cole.
So this could be a huge breakout point, but obviously... I mean, they have found the harp already, so the odds aren't as bad as they are in a vacuum. But the odds that this is armor or sword, obviously not huge, but you're certainly hoping for that right about now.
Yeah, you wouldn't hate a death necklace either, because that would allow you to grind that tile, but this will be our second quest item, the Stones of Sunlight, so 2 quest items and not much help on offer in Cole. So these early towns have not paid huge dividends. Slamu coming away with a copper sword, MetalDream with the club and that chainmail. Has not seen Breckenary yet. Slamu has seen neither Hawksness nor Cole. And it looks like this is kind of a dead-end peninsula down here. MetalDream's going to take a look to the north.
I will say, with Slamu going back to sleeping things, it's very possible that he managed to end up with enough money to buy the hand axe and then the chainmail on top of that, with the money from the copper sword sale.
Ooh.
Or not.
Or a run block by a Drakey on 39 agility plus a hurt more on top of that sends him home.
Oh.
That feels disgusting.
That absolutely feels disgusting. Especially if Slamu was in fact trying to hold on to his money there. That's a rough way to lose it.
Yeah. Oh, and look at this, MetalDream. I think is just closed and passed Slamu on experience, and both runners are going to get level 8 essentially simultaneously. No strength, 18 speed, 7, and I think that was 16 at the end there. Thank you, Slamu's screen, for helping me catch up on that. Just the slight delay was enough.
Not really much to cast with that extra 16 MP, but at the same time, that's more sleeps, and even more importantly, that's just a whole boatload more agility.
Yeah, which is pretty big. I mean, There's no way to heal yet. You could buy some herbs, of course, and try to do some exploration if you wanted. But at least from MetalDream's standpoint, he's seen a fair number of the towns, everything but Keys and Garanham at this point. So he has decided, after exploring to the north of Cole and Hawksness, to just settle down in the west zone here and continue grinding. Meanwhile, I think Slamu just dead-ended that to the east as well.
Yeah, he did, but I don't think MetalDream has seen Breckenary yet, has he?
MetalDream has not seen Breckenary yet. It's actually a little bit further east of here and then north. It's basically due north of Start. Over here, where he is right now, is a little bit west of that, so hasn't quite tracked down Breckenary's location yet.
Not getting good sleep luck on all these warlocks, which is a bit of a shame.
Yeah, I mean, you'd expect to land the sleep most of the time. They do have 3 out of 16 resist normally in this flag set. So that's a fixed figure. You always know what that is. But yeah, he has missed a fair few sleeps against the warlocks. And, you know, if he's trying to hold on to money, it makes sense to try to put those to sleep. It's the best way to keep yourself from getting wounded. And since you don't have any healing, that's kind of what you're dealing with right now. But this looks like the northwest zone for MetalDream. And he's actually going to swing away on this Wyvern. Is this, I think it's probably a better hurt spot for this.
Yeah, but it's also a good spot for the Wyvern to wake up.
That can happen too.
Yeah, right now they're honestly in a kind of an uncomfortable situation for me when I'm racing. When you're pretty early into a seed and the strength is starting to get pretty high, that things are starting to run from you, but your best weapon is like a club or a copper sword. It always feels sketchy.
Yeah, I can totally understand that, and especially when you're this deep in a tournament and you're thinking about how to handle these different things. It's pretty tricky to get a handle on exactly what you want to do, because you do have the sleep spell, but at the same time, there's not a whole lot of stuff. You feel like you can go fight effectively with no healing. But as I say that, MetalDream has stopped off in Cantlin and is going to load up on a couple torches and some herbs here, which will help kind of extend his battle life, as it were. So if he wanted to go back into that Wyvern zone, for instance, and try to take some of those out with some sleep hurt strats, he could do that. He's going to pick up this Dragon Scale for an additional 2 defense as well, which is nothing to sneeze at. He's got 40 defense now, which means he's breaking literally everything in Zone 0, 1, and 2. So if he comes across something like a wolf or a metal scorpion, those are broken as well.
And more importantly, he got the radishes before Slamu.
Well, I don't even know what to say about that.
It's really surprising, honestly.
I'm kind of flabbergasted. But here we go. This is the exact fight that I was talking about. That Wyvern, you can put that to sleep. It only has, 1/4 resist, and really 3 hurts most of the time does the job. Except it has heal more. Why? That was a good effort. I think that's a good fight to take in this situation, because you're kind of capped elsewhere. Right here is a Druin Lord, which kind of the same situation. 46 attack power. It's actually a little bit more effective to use her here, and you see him switch over to that right away.
Yeah, sadly, you can't sleep it, but it's still low enough where your HP should be able to carry you through.
Yeah, exactly. And so he's going to heal up here too, and I guess is looking to just stay in this zone. Is going to try to hunt down some more Druin Lords at least, and maybe if he's feeling up to it, try to take out some Wyverns as well. Still don't really have a good sense of what else is in this zone, but at the moment, because of a little bit of that shopping and some walking around, Slamu has picked up about 100 experience point lead now, and is rapidly closing there. As you see on screen, our Restreamer, Kami, and Renikai hard at work keeping those to next level figures updated. And Slamu now under 100 to the next level, which is at 975.
Yeah, I'd really like this grind a bit more if he had a hand axe or a large shield or something a bit extra, but obviously it's been hard to keep gold this seed.
Yeah, just that lack of healing has been a big deal. Slamu is up over, in addition to being at 921 experience points, is up over 800 gold now. So could opt to go shopping if he wanted to. The hand axe doesn't give him much of an advantage over the copper sword right now, so I can understand not worrying about that too much. Here we see a Demon Knight in this, the zone MetalDream is grinding right now. It's got a Demon Knight in it. It's not an enemy he wants to see at the moment.
Yeah, he saw one earlier, managed to get away from it, just like he managed to get away from that one. It's not a big run blocker, but it is high enough that you're really hoping you don't run into them too often, because they could cost you a death or two.
Yeah, the agility is really pretty decent. I think it's almost got a 4 in 5 chance, roughly, somewhere in that neighborhood to run away from a DK, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Slamu has... Oh, go ahead.
We have the level of 6, 10, 11, 5, and hurt more. Okay.
Alright, well, Slamu has gotten what he's been looking for, and now has enough money. If he picks up some armor is probably the best play right here, I would think, because more defense means repelling more junk that you don't want to hurt more.
Yeah, once you get that hurt more, you don't really care too much about that hand axe anymore. You're really just hoping to get some defensive gear, and then eventually you'll hurt more enough things to just happen into a broadsword. Sadly, he is 45 gold away from the half plate, and will instead just take a copper hand axe and chainmail instead.
Yeah, which makes sense right here. MetalDream is going to load up on healing. Our runners on level 9 still do not have a heal spell, so while they do have a lot of offense and can even follow some hurt mores that don't kill some of the bigger enemies with swings now on 63 AP if they so choose, they don't really have much healing.
And there's the late radish check by Slamu.
Wow, that was almost
10 minutes too late.
Yeah, that was some number of minutes after MetalDream. That's actually kind of disappointing. But with hurt more now, I think both runners have made a beeline toward. Actually, I take that back. Slamu's headed east, but MetalDream's headed into Swamp Cave and is walking through. So I suspect maybe this is a spike check.
Absolutely. I think Slamu is probably checking this zone over here because he saw there was desert in here, and I think he maybe saw an enemy or two when he dead-ended it before.
Yeah.
Ooh, that is not a hurt morable enemy.
That is notably not hurt morable. So Slamu is headed off to the east here, and it looks like he has a zone that he is kind of likes. We've seen this from him very recently, in fact. Game 3 against Ziggy. If he finds a zone that has some decent mid-game enemies and he has no healing yet, stuff that he knows he can just one-shot with hurt more, he's liable to hang out there. So we'll see what he finds here. He's got a Wolf Lord at least. The Droll you don't like to see, and the Metal Slime, frankly, is kind of annoying at this point.
I think there was also a skeleton here too, so he's trying to see if he can get into a different zone, and this might be a different zone.
It could well be. Got a Wraith Knight over here too. Meanwhile, on MetalDream side, he's going to get sent back by a DL2 Star Wyvern. Don't like to see that. He did take one of those out in Swamp Cave, so that was probably rather unexpected. He did head through then after checking that spike. So now the question is, will MetalDream go check Hawksnest, since he already has knowledge of that location? Or other worlds spiked out. Yeah, he's headed that way. And I think finding spike tiles in this situation is a compelling reason to do a little bit of exploration once you get hurt more. Oh, there was an Axe Knight, but...
Missed his hurt more.
Yep, missed the hurt more in that Axe Knight, so Slamu sent back as well. And I'm a little bit surprised here. So we saw MetalDream find a Knight in this zone earlier, but yeah, he's going to pop into Hawksnest now, check this spike.
And the zone might not be bad either with the Wraith Knight there.
Might not be bad either. This might be, for all we know, it's this same zone Slamu had seen before he took that death, which that would be a pretty good zone too. But Slamu's going to head into Swamp Cave and make the same check right now. Actually, I take that back. He's casting outside, so he's going to zoom through.
Bit surprising, but may have just decided that there's not enough keeping him... Oh, this is why. He saw the Star Wyvern on the other side in the mountains here the first time he died.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, so not a great enemy to see. It's got 50% heal, 50% deal too, as you see there on screen. And Slamu finds that out. Slamu now sees it. And MetalDream actually got sent out of Hawksnest by a Star Wyvern as well. I think maybe he was trying to pick up level 10 before he went to the spike tile, and was walking back and forth on the two desert tiles, but got one of those Star Wyverns instead and got sent back. But he's just marching straight back for Hawksnest right now. And we
This
will get a
time
look
he
at the
won't be doing
spike.
that.
Yeah. It's another golem. Well, so the Dragon Lord has defended the spikes well against the possibility of a mid-game hurt more. Got a couple of golems here.
The Dragon Lord clearly read the hero's playbook, and Slamu will now be finding out the rest of this information too. He still didn't check the spike tile, but I imagine he will be checking the Hawks' spike.
Yeah, well,
Or
actually
not.
he saw this other town. I think he wants to
Ah,
check this first before he bothers. Never know, you could come up with, say, for instance, coal.
With, say, for instance, the Stones of Sunlight. Wait,
Hmm.
maybe you can just throw him at the golem.
17,437 on that level for Slamu, up to level 10 now. Has a slight experience lead, but frankly, when you have hurt more at this stage of the seed, not a huge deal. That experience point total is going to go back and forth for both racers, very likely the rest of the way.
Yeah, and that 17 boost to strength isn't anything to sneeze at either.
No, you like to see that. I mean, anytime you can get yourself into a situation where once you do finally pick up heal more, and you have enough attack power to fight your big run blockers, if you can hack your way through red dragons, that's always preferable if you find any of those. We haven't seen any of those big run blocker enemies yet, but there's still plenty of time. Only 28 minutes into this seed.
Yeah, I will say the stats for Slamo at least are starting to get into that kind of another uncomfortable bracket where you're looking at them and you're thinking, man, I don't need that much more strength and agility in the scheme of things.
Yeah, in the grand scheme of things, you're still looking for heal more, of course, but like you look at the stats on level 10 and go, yeah, we probably have to start making some progress here because got some problems. But if there's anything important on Hawksness, it's probably going to be a little while yet until heal more at least, or else some huge strength and HP gains before they can take out that golem. A flute would come in handy too, but to this point, if I'm not mistaken, we've only seen 3 chests, the 2 in the throne room, one of which was the harp, the other of which was gold, and then the Stones of Sunlight Cave, which I think was a pair of wings. That was just outside start, so no treasures really located yet, just the coal search spot with those stones.
Yeah, and to answer chat, we have seen no cursed belts. Obviously, that doesn't mean anything with only those 3 chests found, but there's a startling lack of information for how much they've found so far.
Yes, exactly. Of course, any information they might hope to extract from Cantlin, they're going to need keys for that first, and they've got the basement check and the treasury check in Tanagel yet that are still key locked, so keys might end up being pretty big here, but we already have 2 quest items. We're still looking for our Erdrick's stuff, as well as other miscellaneous items. And I'm not sure, I think we've seen enough of this map now. We're guaranteed that the rest of progression is on second continent, yes?
Yeah, I think together they've fully cleared first continent.
Yeah, bird's eye view, we know that first continent is clear, so an interesting seed here. You're going to have to go through Swamp Cave to get anywhere, and that zone immediately outside Swamp Cave is pretty rough, so hard to tell what might happen. Slamu's going to duck into Hawksness again, and is going to check out this zone.
The same zone on the other side of Swamp, Slamu.
Meet the new zone, same as the old zone.
I mean, Star River's with DL2 and I think it was Healmore are kind of rough, but at the same time, you got hurt more, you take them. It's annoying,
yeah,
but
it's annoying, but you may as well fire away. If they're in the zone anyhow, if you've decided this is otherwise the best place to be, and honestly, it's pretty good. Werewolf, Wraith Knight, those are nice to see there. MetalDream, looking around.
Nice
Hurt more is bad to see. That makes the werewolf significantly less enticing.
So if you enter that fight with anything even remotely less than 75%, if you enter that with anything too much less than full health and you don't kill it in one, you better just hope.
Yeah, you better hope for a swing, and frankly, even then you might not be safe. But Slamu's going to head through Swamp Cave. runners here just within about 40 experience points of each other have essentially the same exploration knowledge. And actually, Slimu has outsided to the north, so he can do the bonk route here to this spike tile, which will prove, I feel, incredibly disappointing. Should he actually get there on this trip? No guarantee, because he got a Star Wyvern on the way.
Heal, so he should be able to kill it as long as he doesn't get a hurt or fail.
In that sense, the heal is actually kind of nice on this Star Wyvern,
Yes.
because the hurt more landing the hurt more means it's going to be in heal range all the time, so you can duck a breath that way. That the heal will check its chance before it checks the breath chance. That's the order of priority of those skills. So the heal is actually a little bit helpful there.
Sadly, he's still having issues getting to the spike tile, but he will manage it with his last 23 HP and an immediate run.
And an immediate outside.
So with him just trying all these different zones and not going back to the Axe Knights, which I think he'd seen before, and MetalDream finding it and sticking there, MetalDream has clawed back the experience lead.
And in fact has picked up level 11 as Slimu comes upon 2 more caves.
Stop spell.
A stop spell important to see there. We had 6, 4, 9, and that was a big chunk of MP there, was it not? 19 on level 11.
And we also have Jerk on Big Slamu's side, which means I think with only 4 caves remaining, Tablet, Mountain, Grave, and Staff Cave, one of those treasure chest caves has got to be under either Tanagel or Garanham now.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. So we've got the 3 caves with treasures left, Tablet, and the 2 dungeons. And we've got those key-locked doors in both Tanagel and Garanham, which I think Garanham is the only town besides Rim that we haven't seen. So we've got a chest there, too.
Oh.
Well, that's... Huh.
DL2 Breath and Mountain Cave.
Yeah, so Wolflord, normally you can just hurt more of those, but if you get back attacked, apparently they have Sleep in DL2, so who knew?
Just a torch in the first chest of Mountain, and you'll just happily use that immediately.
Entirely sensible. 4 chests on the bottom floor. Slimu usually goes up first. So he's going to do the double check here. Gets a golem. Has enough agility to get away from that. Gets an herb.
There's some information. Not that it really helps right now since they've both seen coal.
Right, so that cursed belt accounts for the coal search spot where we found the Stones of Sunlight. Doesn't give us any additional information yet, but if we find some more cursed belts, we know that the Cantlin or the Hawksness search spots will be active.
And with a golem and an axe knight here, and having seen so many towns, honestly, you're just hoping this last chest has a key, I think.
Really, that would be a pretty nice find for Slimu right now. Would help him make some headway on First Continent. Meanwhile, as you pointed out, MetalDream has been sticking to this grind zone and has grabbed about a 500 experience point lead. Oh, the run block from a golem, 75 agility. You hate to see that. Abandons, for the moment, 5th chest in Mountain Cave, and Slimu will then have a choice to make. Is he going to go straight back there, or is he going to strike out in a different direction and explore? Could also go back to the grind too, but that one hurts.
That one hurts so bad. He may just go right back for that, but man, that just hurts everything. Like, there was a potential to set up a gold grind if you wanted to out of Mountain Cave. Now to do that, you'd have to grab a bunch of extra chests that you already know, and he's not even going to bother going for it.
Yeah, just turns the opposite direction, heads west instead. I'm not sure if Slimu had any herbs on him there, but if he did, then failing to top off would be a problem.
Yeah, you gotta be very careful with those herbs. Is that the other side of Swamp, just north of there?
I think it is, actually. So I think Second Continent is adjacent to First Continent to the south, which makes sense. We'd seen the North Coast on First Continent.
We also briefly, I think, saw Charlotte there.
And we also saw level 12 for MetalDream, 506, and 10 with the spell of heal, so that's a pretty big deal.
And heal would be tempting to go and strike out, but at the very least he's gonna run out of his resources first. With stop spell and now heal, there's a chance that if the golem has anything that you can stop spell, you might be able to beat it, but obviously the odds don't seem particularly great.
MetalDream is back into Cantlin, picks up a small shield. Does have enough money for a broadsword, but opted against that on this trip.
Slimu, meanwhile, has found the west coast and has found a demon knight that wanted to run block him, and he must not have any herbs. I can't imagine there's any scenario you wouldn't herb up there to just complete that dead end at the very least before you die if you had them.
And it looks like MetalDream reserved his gold in order to buy half plate and a hand axe. So it doesn't jump all the way to broadsword, it's going to get some more defense instead. It's up to 59 defense now. It can repel a good bit of things in the overworld should he so choose with the heal spell, and given that we have not seen anything that you'd be too worried about, now even on level 11 both racers are in a range where they are safe from DL2 breath if they're fully topped off. So some safety in that at least.
Yeah, sadly for Slimu, without the heal spell, he can't top himself off through all this swamp that is just everywhere.
Yeah, one wonders, Slimu is often so apt to grind in these situations, so one wonders how he must be feeling about his start right now. The fact that he's decided to explore before a heal spell shows up. Feels at least somewhat uncommon for his typical strategy.
And so far, with MetalDream now finding the one thing Slimu lacked, the one thing Slimu had over him, I should say, and having that experience lead, it so far hasn't helped him, but there's still obviously a lot of race to go.
Yeah, and I mean, with that heal spell, you would assume, based on the enemies that we saw the first trip for Slimu at least, you would assume that MetalDream will be able to clear this in one trip, so that 5th mountain cave chest looms very large here. We'll see what that is, hopefully, momentarily. And once we do, that'll give us a sense of whether or not Slimu had a big miss there. Speaking of big misses, did not have enough HP to survive after that hurt more against the green.
And didn't quite have enough damage to kill it despite a max roll on the Hurtmore.
Yeah, and only 23 more experience points to heal as well. When he sees this pop up after he gets it, he's going to be kind of disappointed, I think.
Yeah. So here we go, the last chest.
Here we go indeed. It is the Fighter's Ring.
So, honestly, not unimportant, but not what you were really particularly hoping for.
No. Fighter's Ring is worth 2 attack power, and honestly, you know, if the strength stays around where it is, you love to have that, because anytime... Oh,
Never
sorry,
mind.
go ahead. Oh,
I was going to say, ooh, there's a cave right there, but
Yeah,
I think we actually saw Jerk already, yeah.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, we saw that cave on the same screen a little while ago. Slimu does have level 12 now, does also have his heal spell. Finds himself behind by the last chest of Mountain Cave, which is the Fighter's Ring, and about 500 experience points.
The good news is, if there is one item you'd like to have, but don't mind too much potentially missing on, it is the Fighter's Ring. But a town is something you really want to see right now. And another town!
Both missing towns, so not only has MetalDream found Rim and therefore keys, but he also has a bead on Garanham.
Oh,
Slimu's
right behind him.
Yep, right behind him. So both racers into Rim at the same time, and now it's going to be a mad dash to clear all of those key lock locations, and the manner in which they go about this could have a lot of impact on the race. I'm sure that both of them will have seen that Garenham location. That's the only town we have left to see, so they'll know that that has to be that location. They've also got the rim chest itself to clear, and MetalDream will dip back inside town to do that right now.
And right now, you're really hoping that Staff Cave isn't under Garenham. Because it routes too perfectly, well, Staff Cave or Tablet, because it routes just too perfectly if you can just die in Grave after dead-ending this whole area, because I don't think it can go on much longer.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. We're down both pieces of Erdrick's equipment, we still have Hawksness and Cantlin, of course, and we have the chest in Garenham to see, so that could still impact the decision as well. But if Grave is under Garenham, I mean, you almost certainly try to full clear it on this pass, right?
Yeah. And if there's anything you want, there's shops aplenty in First Continent that's basically all just a screen away, so...
Yeah.
Whatever you can't get in Garenham and potentially what's under it, you can potentially just buy in a shop, assuming that you can die in Garenham, which is 1 out of 3 odds right now.
Everyone say hi to Loafers. Loafers has joined the broadcast. This man's cat.
She cannot be contained. Slimu is honestly doing what I kind of feel like I would do right here, which is trying to see if he can dead end the areas around it, but sadly they just kind of continue on a little bit.
Yeah, he is taking a look here. I'm sure he's seen Garenham, but is probably thinking along the same lines. If he ends up wanting to die out of the back of Garenham, then... Oh, there we've got armor for MetalDream. So that's one fewer thing to look for. And with 2 search spots occupied, but we've only got knowledge of 1 belt, correct?
Yes, only 1 belt so far. This has got to be either Tablet or Grave.
I'm pretty sure, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Tablet. So, 1 chest here could be a big deal. Either way, both racers will probably try to finish clearing Second Continent, I assume, before they go back.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens.
At the very least, you want to clear this area of the path to the northeast and the path to the the path to the northwest and the path to the east. There we go.
That's
Directions. MetalDream is indeed going to do that before thinking about returning.
Yeah, by the way, that was a key-locked key in Tablet, so you get your key back from having opened the basement in the first place.
Gotta say, you really don't like the long key fund.
The long key fund. Sounds like the title of an old western. No, it doesn't.
The Long Key Fund, starring Clint Eastwood. And other people that I don't remember because I don't really watch that many westerns.
I feel like Walter Brennan has to be in that one.
Oh. I feel like Slim Pickens should be in anything and everything.
I think that's fine.
So the path to the east is a dead end, and the path to the northwest turns to the east too. And will also seemingly, dead end.
I think MetalDream wanted a return. We'll have to settle for the wings instead, as Slimu outsides. And so now we've got 3 caves outstanding, correct? We've got Grave, we've still got to find Staff Cave, and there was 1 more, right? Or was that just the 2?
I think those are just the 2, and one of them is under here.
Yep, one of them is in the basement of Tangible Castle, and our third quest item. Yeah, there we go. Erdrick's token. So all 3 things have been found. Also have the Hawksness search spot. So MetalDream is going to dip into the throne room, which telegraphs his intent a little bit. If this is Grave in the basement, might look to take a death here. Possibly, if there's a gold chest down here, could just grind that straight away. And I guess a death wouldn't really be a good idea at this point. You want to find gold in the basement.
Yeah, I don't think there was any gold on the top, so... Yeah,
so... Pops into the throne room. That loads 3 more chests into the buffer, as it were. And so now on 7...
oh, no, there was.
Or was there gold? Okay.
Yeah, there was gold in the middle chest.
I missed that.
That said, it won't matter, because this is just the harp trade-in.
It will not matter. This is the harp trade-in, so both racers still on a small shield. I think we've seen basically all the shops except the locked Cantlin shop, and I don't recall seeing a large shield anywhere.
Yeah, it's honestly pretty uncomfortable.
It's a little uncomfortable. The agility is pretty good, so that's at least some solace.
Yeah.
MetalDream's going to head to Cantlin straight away, it looks like.
If I were in this race, I would probably do this check right here. Just check this locked shop and just hope there's some kind of shield. And even if it's a silver shield, I maybe consider it, but nope, just the large.
I think that works out perfectly.
Yeah.
Likely neither racer will need to do any shopping the rest of the seed. Slamu also now in possession of the staff, so our runners basically equal here, with the exception that momentarily MetalDream will have the coordinates. It looks like Slamu's heading that way too.
Yeah, with this late into a seed and with so much found, you really don't... Oh my.
I think that's over with our Axe Knight zone someplace.
Yeah, it feels
Or...
countable. Unless... Oh, no, that actually
second.
could be.
I think that's second continent, right?
Yeah. I think that actually is the continent.
This just goes north, and you can't... Yeah. You can't get there from here.
Meanwhile,
just with that 3 north, that's...
Yeah. Yep, it basically just curves around, second continent does, and then ends up on that west coast, or east coast, and I think that's actually probably roughly where the, pretty close to the east coast is where that coordinate is.
Yeah, and it's entirely possible MetalDream may already have clocked that and was just coming this direction to go back to his favored grind zone, but he is going to get level 13 here for 7, 5, 8, and Radiant and Heal More. So it might be Golem time.
Yeah, it's absolutely Golem time. That is just such a potential time save. If you have a Erdrick Sword there, you maybe just take the Golem instead, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, if I assume the sword is in Hawksness, perhaps. Maybe do that right away, but you could do a coordinate check as well.
Oh, no, wait, that was Tangential. Okay, yeah, so he's going right back for Hawksness.
Yeah, going straight back to Hawks, and I think Slamu is also headed west with intent.
Do still have the flute and the death necklace outstanding, so... probably healing up, yeah.
Yeah, Slamu taking a quick landmark for his count. That little peninsula there just south of Tangential is a good landmark to see, and we've already seen, as you pointed out earlier, good catch, seeing that other exit of Swamp Cave just a little ways away there.
Yeah, that's a really good landmark to take, but right now we just have a divergence. One of them is counting, and the other one's going for Hawksness.
Yeah, and I mean, it's all due to the fact that MetalDream was able to pick up that level 13 and has Heal More, so he can make this check right now, whereas Slamu cannot beat this Golem, as he is presently outfitted.
Does he need a hat?
I don't think you need hats to beat Golems, but I don't think it could hurt. Unless it's one of those really big hats and it's over your eyes, that would be bad.
Not sure exactly where Slamu is going, though. This doesn't feel like he's going to the coordinates. He went south and then hooked west.
I'm not quite sure. Yeah, I think he's...
Probably searching for Grave ahead of time.
Yeah, he might have just be thinking about where his spots are. But Golem down for MetalDream, and Death Necklace acquired.
Okay. So right now, that doesn't seem likely to factor in, but it still could, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, hit points get very silly sometimes late in the seed. You never know. For what it's worth, a quick check-in shows that MetalDream has about 1,000 experience point advantage over Slamu right now, and Slamu is counting out these coordinates, but MetalDream, I think, is about to do the same.
I think he's actually going to rescue the princess.
Or actually, yeah, he's going for a rescue. This would look like a rescue. He's fired off the Radiant there, and is on his way through Swamp Cave. Slamu counting this out.
Not a huge time loss here with the Swamp Cave right next to Tangential, but it is a time loss that Slamu can potentially take advantage of.
Very nice bit of routing here, at least, that Slamu will be able to trade for the Rainbow Drop right away as he's counting. I think this body of water has interrupted him momentarily, and the coordinates are actually across it to the east. Bit of a windy one.
A bit of a windy one. like a mountain road over here.
Thinks he has the bead on it. First search proves fruitless. Second search, likewise. So the grid begins.
So the grid begins should also be an old Western movie.
This is about ranchers versus farmers, right?
I was going to say it was like a posse engaging in a manhunt.
Oh no, that's a good. Yeah, I like that synopsis better.
That said, I think the grid in the film might go better than this grid for Slamu so far. He's, I believe, 2 tiles out and just starting to ungrid now.
Yeah, when the terrain is kind of homogeneous like this, it's kind of difficult to keep a handle on your grid where you are exactly.
Yeah.
So I think he's
hitting
this coast now and is just maybe going to go across rows or snake his way across these rows. And now I think he's decided he's maybe going to go back and pick up his landmark again.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, MetalDream has downed a couple golems and has 5,000 experience points and now Gwaelin's love. Isn't that nice?
Aww. Probably gonna marry her someday. Did you know he built C3PO? Anyway. So this was one way that Slamu could have really gotten some of the lead back, but having to recount this from his landmark is really going to cost him.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable for him right now. I'm sure he's feeling this a little bit. MetalDream's first ping shows 20 north, 9 west, and of course that's inverted.
Now, what you're really hoping for Slamu is that you were just way off in your first count, because you don't want to get back there and realize that you were just like, one of those tiles you skipped at the end when you were getting frustrated was actually the search spot.
Yeah, you'd never like it when that happens. It always feels super gross, and that's the one thing about counting. Slamu's a pretty good counter. I mean, I've seen him pull off some very difficult counts before, but these, any racer is susceptible to this sort of a situation. MetalDream is on the way, of course, also going to trade in for his rainbow drop.
Oh no, this is actually even more unfortunate than I realized. You can actually see the coast just barely from the other side of the thing, so I don't think Slamu actually needed to do this count over the water here. I think he could have just as easily picked up his landmark from this side.
Entirely possible. He does hit it first time, and it's the fairy flute. Talk about feeling disgusting. I mean, you have to recount it, and then it's the flute. Now, granted, it is actually going to help Slamu a little bit now. He can go kill the golem if he wants to, clear the Hawksness spike, but has no convenient way to quickly get back to first continent, because one of the things that is still missing, even on level 13 for MetalDream, is the return spell, so that's something to keep in mind. We're going to need to track down either return or a pair of wings before this is all said and done. Our stats aren't quite there yet, of course, so plenty of time for return to show up. But Slamu actually going to check that 5th chest of Mountain Cave that he had to orphan earlier. Got sent home by that golem some time ago.
Gonna be so absolutely relieved to see, I forget what it was, wings or something? Fighter's Ring.
Fighter's Ring. It was the Fighter's Ring.
So right now we have 2 real checks outstanding. One of them is Grave, and the other one is Charlock.
Which is kind of interesting. Our players have explored in roughly the same pattern, and I'm not even really 100% sure where to look for Grave at this point.
I know MetalDream hasn't really gone south of Charlock on Second Continent yet. And I think Slamu did, but he just kind of did a broad, vague U and didn't really explore all of it, and then just like said, no, the coordinates are up there, I'm going to do that now. So that's exactly what he's doing right now. He's going back to check out this expanse of land that he didn't quite full clear, although he's running completely out of MP now.
Yeah, I mean, this is the interesting thing about the scene, and I think, you know, Slamu is probably going to check Hawksness. He's got that Coordinates Fairy Flute now, and he has not seen further south. Yeah, he's checking this. He died in this swamp earlier, and actually Grave just beyond it, so he has found, he's the first to find Grave, but it's actually not far from where MetalDream is right now.
And that's going to feel real bad for him. Especially because I don't, if he has to go deep into Grave, I don't know that he has the MP to get down there now.
That is true. So he's only got one Healmore's worth of MP, and he's actually just burnt that Healmore on the Radiant. He's got an encounter pretty quickly in that pass there, so it's hard to get your positioning when that happens. But top 3 of Grave incoming could be really big right here. There's a Wings. There's a Cursed Belt. Does not help.
Thanks, game, for telling us something we already know.
And an Empty. So Slamu is going to continue onward and hope he has enough resources to reach the bottom. Meanwhile, MetalDream level 14, that was 5, 1, 8, and 1.
Jake Cooper, I don't know that he's going to regret giving up those wings, because I don't know that he's going to have the MP'd outside. Slamu pretty much has to die in here. That's the only reasonable way.
The wings would be for return anyway, but yeah.
Oh, right, yeah. Well,
if his return doesn't show up. Yeah, he's going to die in
for the very end. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for the very end. But yeah, Slamu's basically compelled to die out of here. If he has to walk back out of Grave, I'll put it this way, if Slamu ends up having to walk back out of Grave, then he'd probably just have preferred to skip Grave altogether and try diving Charlock for the sword.
Yeah. Sadly, Axe Knights are Armor Knights are in the second zone, and Slamu basically has no way. And Red Dragons! Oh, thank goodness the agility is good. Oh.
There is the sword in 4th chest, and MetalDream only has 14 MP right now, too. And Slamu is going to hunt for a death, probably against... Oh, look at that, there's an Armor Knight down here, too. This is a death trap in the lower reaches of Grave, which I guess makes sense, because it's a Grave. Oh, well... Never mind. That's a hurt Armored Knight. That's not so bad, right? Slamu would prefer otherwise, because he's actively trying to die at the moment, and might not actually get there, because if he swings again, he could kill this.
Oh, and this is gonna be bad. He's gonna have to, if he doesn't kill it here.
Yeah, no,
he's gonna just heal walk.
Yeah. Oh, he's bailed out by the immediate red.
I was really kind of hoping you would just crit the red just for hilarity's sake, but sadly, no such luck.
No such luck.
I will note, Slamu giving up on the 5th chest might have had Death Necklace for all he knew. Obviously doesn't, so he won't be punished there if Death Necklace is somehow important.
Do you figure Slamu is going to Hawksness to grind anyways? I imagine he'll find that.
Yeah. No reason not to check that spot, just in case.
So MetalDream is using herbs in an attempt, I assume, to preserve enough magic points to get out of here immediately, should it come to it. Does get a Stoneman treasure guard, an ad hoc treasure guard on the sword. But it gets away and picks up Erdrick's sword. 40 big attack power there.
Not outsiding immediately. Maybe he's... I don't know why you would gold grind here. Does he know that he has everything?
Well, he knows he has the drop, so I would assume that he knows he has everything. But maybe he's... I'm not sure. Maybe he is thinking about a silver shield. But he is going to check his stats.
Yeah, he's trying to die.
Yeah, he's trying to take a death here. Slamu, meanwhile, has the sword in hand and is back in Hawksness on this Golem grind. So...
Oh, give up on it.
Yeah. Every moment that Slamu is able to fight this Golem, that MetalDream is not fighting the Golem, plays to Slamu's favor a little bit, and you can actually catch up some of this ground pretty quickly on this particular grind.
Yeah.
He is going to use the flute here. The hit points aren't great for him on level 13. I don't think I mind using the flute, but on 81 defense, you could also make a case for swinging away without it using Heal Mores.
And he's going to have a bit of extra time to catch up because MetalDream is going to have to go use the Inning Coal.
Yeah, so we'll see where things stand after this. MetalDream actually going to hit the coal shop too, take the shortcut door, and hopefully duck all of the NPCs that can sometimes get in the way of the shop.
So by the time MetalDream gets all these herbs bought, which to be fair, Slammo probably needs to buy herbs too, but then manages to use the inn, we're going to be pretty close to even. Not quite even, but...
Not quite even, and Slimu's actually been able to preserve really all of his resources by using this flute strat, so I don't even know that the refill cycles will necessarily be out of sync here.
So a lot is going to come down to Sharlock, a lot is going to come down to go level decisions.
Speaking of go level decisions...
Go
ahead.
No, you first.
No, you first.
I was going to say a lot is also going to come down to if this goes on for a while, which the stats don't look like it will, but you know, you never really know. A lot could come down to where in the cycle they have to restore resources.
Right, exactly. Slamu is about 10 ways. Actually, just had to use another heal more there, so MetalDream's a little bit ahead in that regard and is presently about 700 experience points ahead in total, as Slamu picks up 14.
And thank you for the raid, Dinner Dog.
Oh yes, thank you for the raid. Welcome in everybody from Dinner Dog's channel. We're about an hour 3 into this one. Been a very good race so far. Kind of a sloggy start, but both of these racers were very adept at managing it. Got our quest items pretty early and had to go on a hunt to find Erdrick's sword, which ended up in 4th Chest of Grave. That's our most recent find, and now we're in grind and go mode. And as you see there, attack power 127 with that sword in the fighter's ring right now. 83 agility, 95 hit points, 93 MP. They don't need much more to be ready.
Yeah, at 127, they're looking at an average of 16.2 swings on the Dragon Lord. MP obviously isn't there, and honestly, even if it was, you would feel kind of sketchy about a dive at 95 HP with this good of a grind, but like you said, it doesn't take much. Just a couple points in every field, and you're feeling great.
Yeah, still plenty of room here for Fairy Water to come into play too. We know both racers are perfectly capable of taking a dive like that, where they would load up on as much Fairy Water as they can carry and go with it. If the Death Necklace isn't needed, I think they would have 6 slots, or actually 5 probably, right? And then if the Death Necklace is needed, they would have 4, but we're nowhere near that right now. You'd need at least 30 more hit points to even start thinking about that potential for a Death Necklace.
Yeah, there is a little bit of a difference between them there, because MetalDream did rescue the princess, so does have Grayland's Love kicking around in his inventory. But we'll also have the level here.
Yeah, there we go. 6046 with return, so no wings necessary in this one. We do get return before go level. 133 and 99, both in hit points and magic points, and MetalDream has left Hawksness.
Yeah, 133 moves it down to 13.2 swings, so 99 heal mores. If you get down with 4 resources, you've got a heal more to spare. But obviously, you never really like diving with less than 100 HP.
Yeah, it's dangerous, of course, because the less HP you have, the more likely you are to have to burn resources in Charlock. It really does not take much. Anything like 2 run blocks from a red dragon, or something silly like a golem that hits really hard. In this seed, we did see the Armor Knights do have hurt, and I think MetalDream, I think both racers have knowledge of that, honestly.
Yeah.
So that does take the edge off of that a little bit. You start to think, okay, well, at least that's one of those run blockers that I don't have to worry about as much. Slamu has the level now as well, and we'll see what decision he makes.
There's pause.
There's pause, and he's right back onto the tile.
So he is going to gamble on Charlock being rough. We have seen red dragons, and we didn't see them seemingly have anything so far. I believe we've seen Stonemen, green dragons. Really, we've seen a lot of the big hitters except the blue dragon, I think.
Yeah, blue dragon is really the only thing we haven't had eyes on so far in the seed. I think we've seen literally everything else. We know those werewolves have hurt more. Not a huge deal with Erdrick's armor, and they're very easy to run from, but MetalDream, just to address really quickly Artorias in chat, MetalDream did fill up before he went to grind in Hawksness. He stopped at the coal shop, so he does have full herbs as far as I know.
And this could cost Slamu. He still had 9 MP, so he may be getting ready to, yeah, I think he's casting Repel again. I think he's potentially going to be diving Charlock now too, but he took an extra fight or two before he made that decision, so.
Yeah, and I mean, sometimes if you're not quite sure, if you're thinking about it, you don't want to just stand there, so I can kind of understand it. Like, if he's just really thinking about it, then taking the extra fights makes actually a good bit of sense, because at least then you're not idle. But Slamu does look like he's headed towards Swamp Cave, accidentally ducks into Stone's Cave momentarily first, but he is on his way through now as MetalDream hits Basement 2.
And right now, if you're MetalDream, you're saying, come on, I've seen you cast hurt 5 times already this seed.
Yeah, exactly. We don't have a good sense of what the hurt percentage on this Armor Knight is yet. We've seen our racers take down a fair few of those, but they are giving him fits here on the diamond floor. Slamu now puts down the Rainbow Drop, and so MetalDream has about a 3-floor lead here at the hour 8 mark of this one.
Also a 3 Armored Knight lead.
Yeah, how about it? Here's that blue dragon. We haven't seen that yet, and for all intents and purposes, we still haven't. There's a wizard too. I think maybe we saw a wizard, but I don't know that our racers have really fought them meaningfully.
Yeah, don't know that we have, really. And there's a Stoneman back attack. He is half down on herbs, and now he's just trying to make up some of that difference via... Okay, good. Wizards with a stop spell makes them a bit more free. You'd really love to see them right about now.
Yeah, this middle zone was pretty rough to start, but the Armored Knights have tapered off, and MetalDream now rounding the bend, making his way down the staircase into the third and final zone of Charlock. 2 more basements to go before the final floor. First enemy here is an Axe Knight.
Yeah, and for chat, blues are generally pretty easy to run from at this agility. The thing is that at this point in a seed, when you're in Charlock, you're really hoping not to see anything you haven't seen before, because anything you haven't seen before could be packing who knows what.
Yeah, the abilities are the big concern. Fortunately, as you said, the agility has played to about where it should on this dive for both racers, for the most part. There's a run block on a Star Wyvern, though. That is probably going to cost MetalDream one of his 3 remaining herbs, so down to 2 there. But still has that spare heal if he needs it. 99 magic points means you can cast that heal for 3 MP, get some MP back after the spike tile, but the spike could have a lot to say about how this goes.
Yeah. Like, you're in a position now where this is tight enough where if you have to use resources against the L1 to, like, restore, then you're going to want those herbs, and you don't really have them now. But a green dragon, potentially a very good enemy right now.
Potentially a very good enemy, but that back attack is going to shave 20 hit points off of MetalDream's total, and then doesn't get it done in 2 swings either.
Good rolls, though.
So,
and bad rolls from the green.
Yeah, so that defrayed things a little bit, but now MetalDream is going to dip into those herbs, take 1, take the heal, has 1 herb for the DL1 fight, 12 heal mores here. How this DL1 fight goes, as you mentioned, very presciently.
Yeah,
will go a long way toward... Yeah, did manage to keep the 1 herb. Is it going to matter?
Stop spell.
Caught a stop spell, that's pretty big. And a 2-swing DL1!
He's in great shape now. But the back attack.
you don't like the back attack. That's for certain. But
Yeah. Still, right now, as long as he doesn't see bad rolls, he feels good. Speaking of bad rolls, 10s.
10s. There's a 13, so 33 now for MetalDream.
Meanwhile, Slamu having a bit of an easier time, I think, in the catch-up through Sharlock, so he will be managing a Spike Tile soon.
Yeah, Fairy Water for 12 there for MetalDream takes him to 45. And he is going to use his 2 remaining Fairy Water, gives you a slight edge at 133. No reason not to do that if you have them on hand. Slime moves through the spike in a breeze.
He'll enter with more herbs than MetalDream had, I think, so can potentially, if he doesn't get the same luck, although he does get a 45 opening roll.
Always nice to see. 95 is the count for MetalDream. Looks like he's in pretty good shape here. 107 now.
Slamu with an opening swing and a 14.
$126 now after that 11. 1 heal more remaining for MetalDream. 59 bumps him to 50, but he's still safe here. That 12 means 138. Needs a good heal more and gets healed back up to full. That's pretty big. Probably second to last swing though was a 9. 147. This is last chance. And another 9 doesn't get it done!
And that's big because
156.
Slamu's rolls so far. Slamu opened with a 14 and a 15 on his first 2 swings. Oh, this is bad.
MetalDream does not even clear the median there, and actually ends up, I think, about 2 damage below average per swing in that fight. Just a real disaster in terms of the rolls there. Even, you know, even if he's 1 damage below swing, he clears the range. 1 damage below per swing. He gets out of that fight. So just incredibly unfortunate there. Wow.
And he's gonna go take another golem. I think it's not the right play, but I don't blame him. That felt so super sketchy.
Yeah, especially with the trouble that he had. I mean, he lost much of his herb resources on the way down, so he figures if that goes any worse, maybe he's in more trouble. So back to the golems, but here Slamu is rolling much better, it appears, so far at least. We have the count in chat at 112, so I think that takes us to 124.
Yeah, Slamu, unless his rolls go suddenly real sour, he should have it, and commentators curse there's an on.
133. 2 more rolls down the stretch. Possibly more than that, but unlikely. There's an 8.
Ooh.
And so this is the last swing for Slamu. He does get it, though. Goodness gracious.
So if the count was right, that was a 149, but Schmeich has 167.
Yeah. Schmeich has 167. So I'm not sure. We're going to have to see if Slamu had a count on that one, but everybody, please get your GGs out in chat. What a wild finish to this race, and an amazing race it was. Big Slamu is going to take Game 1 of this semifinal series. Wow. I don't even know what to say there.
Yeah, that was absolutely nip and tuck. Not a lot of difference early. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, that said, I mean, MetalDream with a solid 3-floor lead into Charlock there, so...
Yeah.
That just feels incredibly bad for his sake. He played a great race, and to have it end that way, you know, really, you have even 1 more heal more than you think you need, and so for it to end up that way, it just feels really bad. Got a great deal 1, and then just... Wow, totally underwater on those swings, and as I was kind of referencing it earlier, Schmeich pointing out 156 on 14 is an average of 11. He's expecting to do a shade over 13 on average there. So
yeah, for Metal Dream, you're just hoping. You're hoping when you see the race afterwards or get into the commentary booth that Slamu went on 16 to soothe your spirit a bit, but sadly that is not the case. And speaking of Slamu winning, welcome to the booth, Slamu.
Hey there, guys. I don't know what to feel about that race. I didn't feel like I played great, and somehow here I am done. So I'll take it.
All things considered, turned out to be a pretty quick seed. I just want to pause momentarily, though. Metal Dream went back for that level 1, 3, 25, and 2, so that's a huge HP bump. One would expect that would give him a much better chance on this ensuing dive, but Slamu, yeah, I mean, this seed started out, you had some pretty good stats, but all things considered, there wasn't a whole lot you could do. It was a lot of grinding in those starting zones. How did you feel coming out of that segment?
I mean, I felt okay there. I mean, I think there was a hand axe somewhere that would have been nice, but I think, honestly, sitting and grinding on 24 strength was fine. I got it early. The copper sword was early enough that I don't think it hurt that bad. But yeah, but I sat till, 975, which was hurt more. And I felt like that was fine. It was the flailing in the middle that got me.
Yeah. So go ahead, man.
You both diverged around the mid game, especially where you started to explore a little bit earlier than Metal Dream did, and it didn't really help you early on. That said, it was basically neck and neck for most of the race, despite that, until you had the missed count. What was going through your mind when you had to do that recount?
Oh, that was so brutal. I knew I was close. I must have missed something somewhere, and yeah, I missed it between. It was between the rainbow drop and the actual pickup is where I missed it, because my recount on my stats were basically identical. So I don't know where along that last stretch I missed it, but I basically just resigned. Like I lost this thing right there. That was 3-4 minutes of just poor play that I felt like cost me. I mean, honestly, it wasn't as bad as the running around without a good grind, but it's that overt, you're playing bad, instead of thinking that, I could have gotten unlucky on not finding a grind or something like that. No, that was just me playing poorly, but luckily not punished.
I think we've all been in that situation where you do that thing where it's like, now I know I'm a little bit behind and I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do to catch it up. And as it turned out, at least in terms of exploration, you both got into Garenham at the same time. You both got to Rim at basically the same time. You were buying keys at the same time. So exploration was there, but Metal Dream did sit down in that zone that you had checked out kind of early in the seed that had the Axe Knights, the Wraith Knights, I think a couple other things, maybe a Wolf Lord, over there to the east of Start. And it built, I think, roughly a 1,000 to 1,500 experience point lead that he maintained basically throughout, but you did get to the Golem and Hawksness first, started to close that off. And then Metal Dream was into Charlock before you had about a 3-floor lead, but just was way, way below average on the swings in his DL2 fight and was not able to get it done.
Same setup though, I'm assuming, in terms of ring and everything.
Yeah, ring and everything. He was able to clear Mountain Cave on that first pass. It was the same level. You both went on 15.
This tournament is the tournament where I don't get punished for having to redive Mountain. This is the second time in 2 seeds that I've had to redive for Mountain 5, and this one it was absolutely necessary.
I mean, it was huge, right? Like the fighter's ring, it's so underrated at times, but in this particular seed, like it was practically mandatory.
It's a full swing,
really
right? I mean, it goes.
Yeah, it's a full swing.
It takes it from 15 to 14. I mean, Fairy Water makes up a little bit of that gap, but I mean, we've all seen Fairy Water takes like 2 minutes to get set up, and I didn't have 2 minutes clearly, so.
Yeah,
I'll take a lucky win though. I'll take it. No complaining here.
I mean, it's Dragon Warrior Randomizer. It's going to come out that way sometimes, right?
Every once in a while, everybody gets one, right?
Every once in a while, somebody gets one. Every once in a while, you're on the other side of that coin where you take the loss you probably shouldn't have. But we're playing 3, so...
No, we're not. We're going to play 2.
Wow. Well, there's 3 on the schedule, all right? 3 is to be determined.
Oh.
I think Slamu, of course, means that we're playing 2 more, right?
You guys can take that however you're gonna take it.
But yeah, it was one of those races where a couple things went against you, a lot of things went for you at the very end. But really, you both played a very great race, and in those cases, you're hoping that when you do make a mistake, you just need a little bit of luck to overcome it, and that's what happened for you today. You kept it very close. I will say, you did lose in one major area. MetalDream checked radishes about 10 minutes before you, and we were all very disappointed in
Oh
you.
man. Oh yeah, that's definitely a loss on my part. Huh. Too bad. I honestly I didn't leave zone 1 for however long, 15-20 minutes. So I couldn't get to the radishes.
Early on, you had actually found Breckenary really quickly, and MetalDream had found Cantlin a lot sooner. So,
and the Cantlin zone was so much better.
Yeah.
Yeah, we kind of discussed that a little bit. The east-west zone just turned out there were fewer, kind of junk enemies in that zone, and it turned out it was probably faster. But I think you still had an experience lead early because MetalDream had opted to do that Cantlin shopping, and that takes some time. Like you said, you have the strength. Sometimes it's better to just, kind of fade that future advantage of like a potential copper sword or hand axe to just stay and grind, and because it's a lot of shopping, takes some time.
Yeah, I mean the hand axe puts you in the territory where those skeletons and those warlocks open up a little earlier, but you don't know what you're looking at until you've fought a little bit. So
yeah. This dive, I should say, has not gone much better for MetalDream. He's actually he's actually past the spike tile, I should say. Down 1 heal more versus his last attempt, but of course now does have the hit points where he would expect to get a double or 2 in this DL2 fight, and really didn't need to do that much more damage on his last trip to get the job done anyway. But here we go. MetalDream back on the Dragon Lord fight. We'll see how this one goes for him.
Was there anything scary in Sharlock? I mean, I got the axes on the top that just wouldn't let me run, but I was never in danger.
Nothing too scary. We did see a Wolf Lord with a sleep, but I think that's the only enemy in the entire seed we saw with a sleep. So it was really just down to the Star Wyverns with the L2 and the Stonemen with Hurtmore.
Yeah, so not much bad. And I will say there were Armored Knights in Zone 2. I don't know if you caught any of those on your way down.
I did not. I saw stars and blues.
They had
stars
hurt.
in a row. Yeah, the Armored Knights had hurt. I knew that. That was great. I killed like 4 of them.
Yeah. But MetalDream got, I think, all swings and the ones that he saw, so that wasn't great either. I don't know what if we saw the stats on the Armored Knight, I didn't actually get a chance to look at those earlier.
It felt like 50, but I don't know. Crazy thing, I never knew Stonemen had Hurtmore. I only think I saw 2 of them. So it ended up working out. That 99 HP is also not free at 81 defense.
No, certainly not. I mean, anytime, because you're going to be in single digits most of the time, right? So anytime you roll a junk heal more, then you're potentially in trouble.
Yeah, there was one. I think it was at 5, and I'm just saying, don't screw up this heal more. Like, give me at least 90 on it, and it healed me to full. I don't think I had a single heal more that I didn't get back to 99. So I got lucky in that regard too. But I mean, it says I should get 14 swings. I got 14 swings. I did 167. So the math was there.
Yeah, that much is absolutely certain. The math was definitely there. It just did not work out for MetalDream on his attempt. He was a full 2 damage per swing below average. Ended up, I think, in 156, and I'm not sure what this DL2 HP is going to be. We'll probably see it soon. MetalDream has banked 1 double in this fight, and Destiny of a Dragon Warrior, our tracker, has him at 155, so he's guaranteed to win here. Just needs to hold A at this point.
So that means
16
164 or 165 for the Dragon Lord.
Yeah, say 159 was not enough for me.
So everybody, please get your GGs out in chat from MetalDream. He played a great race today, just came up short there at the very end of this one. very disappointing first Dragon Lord fight. So he's going to find himself in a 0-1 hole in this best of 3 series. Will have to win 2 in a row if he wants to advance to the finals. So has his work cut out for him against Slamu, but he did play. He can take some solace in the fact that he played a great race today. I mean, he was just on top of it from beginning to end. As you see there, the Dragon Lord 2 stats 164 on that maximum hit points. And I think Manda's been intercepted by his cat Loafers, so he'll be away for a few minutes.
Okay, she stopped meowing, although I know as soon as I start talking again, she will meow again. Hello, MetalDream. Welcome into the booth.
Hello there, GG Slamu.
GG's Metal. That was if they've given me the recap, and I feel bad now. Like that sounded like we basically you were a couple floors ahead of me, and it just didn't work out. So
No, the rolls on DL2 were absolute trash.
Yeah,
I'm not sure how many of them were above average, but it feels like a bunch of 10 and under.
Yeah, it was a lot of 10s, a lot of. And there were. I've got what here? I've got my count. So I've got 3 10s, I got 3 9s, and 8. And then nothing above a 14. Just 2 14s. So yeah, they were really bad, as we kind of discussed a little bit. That was pretty gross.
Yeah, it still looked like you might have it at the very end there. We're thinking you would, and then I think your last 3 or 4 rolls were just all 8s and 9s. It felt like.
That was pretty bad. Well, that's the name of the game. That's it. I mean, it's a big casino, and we're all at the table. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose.
that's kind of what I said there. I'm like, I didn't deserve it, but I'm not gonna give it back. I'll take the W.
Oh, I can guarantee if it was the other way around, I would have taken the W and ran with it as well.
No, it sounds like we put on a pretty good show there, though. I mean, would have been a minute or 2 in either direction, so hopefully we can do the same thing on Thursday.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. You're tough to beat, man. I'll need to do even better next time.
I slipped the Dragon Lord a $50 bill, so that's why I pulled this one off. So.
Well, I don't think I have too much to add, nor necessarily even any other questions, other than to say, MetalDream, man, you played a great race. It's very unfortunate that it did not come out in your favor tonight, but I want to wish you both the best of luck next time out. And that race, I believe, is scheduled for the 21st, that's 21st, right? Same time?
Yeah, Thursday,
Yep.
Same time.
That's the other trick that I've got to beat these guys is I make them play at midnight their time, and now I've got the advantage because they're all tired.
Well, fortunately, this one is not 2 hours long, so it's not going to be too rough at work tomorrow morning.
All right, anything else either of you want to add before we start wrap things up here?
No, just a final GG to Slamu, and thank you to all the team to put together this race at this hour. I truly appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks to Destiny, Mand, Archfield, and Cameo. You guys are awesome. GG's Metal. Looking forward to Thursday night.
Yeah, GG's boss. We'll see you on Thursday.
I'm taking a look right now. I'm going to run down the schedule really quickly. I did mention these 2 racing again. Please come out and see that. Channel yet to be determined, but keep an eye on the DWR Discord for more information about that as it approaches. We do have one race tomorrow night. That's Game 2 of NES Cardinality versus DK9146 in the other semifinal over on the other side of the bracket. I won't spoil the outcome of that first race. If you haven't seen that yet, that's available right here in the archive on RPG Limit Break, and we want to give RPG Limit Break, a shout out as well for hosting us every year with all of our Dragon Warrior Randomizer events. They do a great job over here with all of their charity endeavors and the marathons that they run. So please, if you haven't done so already, make sure to give the channel a follow. Make sure to give our runners a follow. Make sure to give this great crew a follow. Man, that was a great race. I'm glad you're here to call it.
Absolutely. It was. There were a lot of decision points where the racers did a little bit differently. Obviously, exploration, you couldn't do too much differently for a long while because most of the exploration was on the other side of swamp. But a lot of different decision points in terms of when to explore, where to explore first, and on the other side of swamp. And despite that, it came down to a very close ending in terms of 2 dives at basically nearly the same time in terms of starts. So always exciting to see.
If you're looking for more, make sure you stay tuned. I think right now, I'm going to call it live on stream. We're having some conversation in Discord back here. I think we're going to send it to F. Coughlin. Fred, who I believe is playing some Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide. That's the wrong one. That's the other one. Why can't I think of what that is called? Final Fantasy VI. Man, what is the name of the randomizer for Final Fantasy VI? Is that right?
I thought it was Worlds Collide.
Am I wrong? I'm doubting myself. It is Worlds Collide. I knew that, and I second guessed myself. I should have just asked you to begin with.
Maybe it's just the Power Man 5000 song is confusing you.
I don't know. Anyway, it's been fun, and despite that gaffe, we're gonna get out of here. So we're gonna raid F. Coughlin. Thanks everybody for watching. I'm Archfield Monk. Amanda's been with me. Destiny of a Dragon Warrior was our tracker. Kamian Renikai was our restreamer. They're all awesome.
Now this is what it's like when worlds collide. Please don't sue me.